Welcome to the MiningNewsWire Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's MiningNewsWire podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to another online business briefing brought to you by the Investor Brand Network, and you are dialed into the MiningNewsWire podcast, where today I'm going to be joined by Gordon Robb. Gordon is the Chief Executive Officer of ESGold. You can find him at that website, esgold.com, and of course, visit us here at the Investor Brand Network. Click on the Clients tab, and there in alphabetical order, you will find ESGold. Gordon, thanks so much for making time for us today. It's wonderful to meet you. I can't wait to learn more about your company.
Stuart, thanks very much for having me.
Absolutely. So again, if you go to the Investor Brand Network, you'll see the leadership team led out there. You can see also the background for Gordon. Pick that up because there's some great investment highlights. But Gordon, for those who may not know your company yet, if you will, describe the business model on the markets that you operate in first.
Yes, ESGold is a very unique story in the junior mining space. We are focused on tailings to cash. We are a near-term producer focused on driving revenue to fund further exploration of the Montauban project.
Well, and we just got a nice update on that. I'm pulling up the news right now, everybody. Here's the date line, Thursday, April 9th from ESGold Corp, using that ticker symbol again. Here in the United States, ESAUF, and on the Canadian Stock Exchange, ESAU. Headline is ESGold advances towards production and exploration drilling as mill build-out progresses in parallel. The subheadline is where a lot of the meat and potatoes of this press release, which get elaborated on in the body of it, drill permits have been submitted, with mobilization expected in the near term. The expanded district-scale geophysical survey is nearing completion. And again, this is on your Montauban Gold-Silver Project in Quebec. Since we've got you here as the CEO, Gordon, kind of give us the color to this press release and this update on how things are progressing, because that's really probably one of your main milestones here in 2026, is what you've been able to achieve so far here at this project.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, it's important to remember that ESGold has been operating for a long time, right? We've been focusing on obtaining permits, raising funds to be able to build out the mill facility so that we can begin processing those tails to drive revenue, pour doré bars, and then fund ourselves further exploration. This update, this corporate update, goes to show the amount of work that's been being done in the background over the last few months. All of our permits are in for drilling. We are currently getting ready to mobilize for that maiden drill campaign to test a few high priority targets from our last geophysics results, as well as test that historical resource to bring that up to a 43-101 resource.
Mm-hmm.
We've ran the drilling from the tails. We have a 43-101 resource on the tails. We have 1 million metric tons of material that is on surface that needs to be processed, neutralized, where we can pour doré. And we're currently building out our facility in order to start that. Sort of a two-phase approach right now, getting that facility up so we're operational and cash flowing. Simultaneously, we're expanding the exploration package so we can figure out the broader mineralization of this project.
Well, it's been a big year for you and your company as we look through some of the updates and also some of the work that's been done here by Investor Brand Network profiling your company. But before we get there too far, I got to read about you by our profile here at the Investor Brand Network. But if you will, from your own words, tell us a little bit about what brought you here today. In other words, what's your background?
So my background is finance. I spent the very early part of my career in fixed income, working in different global hubs of the world between Toronto, Hong Kong. I moved back to Canada, naturally got into mining. If it's not grown, it's mined. It's always fascinated me. And I started with a company, Scotty Resources, where I've spent the majority of my mining career. What attracted me to ESGold is this mining space that we're in, the industry is the permitting timelines, the development timelines can take so long. And the essence of turning rocks into dollars and generating cash flow, creating a business model seems to have been lost through excessive permitting or development timelines of massive CapEx. ES Gold is a very unique company where all the permits are in place. There is economic material on surface from these tailings. We're able to process this quickly, generate cash flow, and fund further exploration and expansion ourselves. Right? It's the perfect business model of traditional business of revenue and then growth. So ES Gold attracted me immediately because it was so near-term cash flow where you could reinvest in yourself. You have the optionality of being cash flowing to drive investment through either exploration, property acquisition, share buybacks. You have a lot more optionality when you are cash flowing. And we are in that position. We're coming to the 11th hour of that massive milestone for us.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on that. I'm looking at the slide deck that was provided to me on your company. It's beautiful, by the way. And at slide 8, I was interested to find how long this Montauban project has been worked. We're going back to 1913, Gordon. Actively from 1913 to 1944, then 1948 to 1955, again through the 80s and the 90s. It's been a producer. That's got to be exciting that you guys were able to land this project.
The past production profile of the Montauban mine is very interesting, right? It started originally as an underground lead zinc operation, and they're chasing mineralization. In the early 1900s, big exploration programs, understanding resources, understanding systems, where it took time and money, where they could get a permit the next day and start chasing mineralization and start producing. All three of those companies that operated, Anacon, Tetro, and then Musket Show up into 83 to 90s, none of them did property-wide exploration. So this is a known mine that had known mineralization that produced for well over 100 years with very limited property-wide exploration. I believe the deepest drill hole was only down to about 200 meters. Everything was done in a production style, so just chasing mineralization as they continued to mine. It leaves us with a very exciting opportunity because this is a past producing mine that's never been explored. There is so much more potential here, and we have this unbelievable discovery opportunity with this package to really understand that geological footprint. The geophysics that we did on the property really helped understand that. It gave us understanding of lithological contacts, certain anomalies that have become high priority drill targets for us. But this is an area that's been mined for over 100 years that has never had modern exploration techniques.
Well, and that's my next question. And if you go to slide number 13, everyone, you're going to have this available to you at the Investor Brand Network. And I'm sure my producer is going to put it over here on my shoulder here. The 3D ANT model confirms district scale upside at Montauban. So these new technologies, and this is the ambient noise tomography, this is big. I mean, these kind of technology advancements can take a mine that maybe was lead and zinc at one time, and now it's gold and silver. And you can find, just the colors pop off the page of what you could possibly have, and what your key takeaways are on this slide are staggering as well. So how much has technology played a role in the excitement for you as the management team at looking at Montauban?
Well, it gave us because this ANT was non-invasive, we were able to do a 10 square kilometer ANT study to try to understand the broader mineralization. What we have found, this looks like a clustered VMS style deposit with a lot of targets moving forward. So this ANT, coupled with a VTEM survey, coupled with historic drill holes and underground workings, we were able to put together this 3D model. This 3D model gave us an idea of contacts, fault lines, better understanding of what we were looking at, of what was going on beneath our feet. And that provides us with targets to drill moving forward. Until we drill it, we're not going to be able to know for sure, but this gives us a high degree of confidence in being able to build that drill campaign to test those targets and being able to build off of that initial exploration program.
If you look at the future for this, and you talked in the early portions of this interview about phase 1, phase 2, and moving in parallel, what are some of the things that you'd like to see as we're about to hit summer already? It's crazy. So we're here in April, but spring, summer, fall, what are some of the immediate near-term goals that you'd like to see the company achieve?
2026 is a very big year for us. We have secured all of our equipment. It is currently being commissioned or being shipped. We have more equipment arriving at site every day. Our lab equipment has just arrived. We're currently building out our facility at very high speeds. We're aiming to be in operations this year. Coupled with, we have our maiden drill campaign kicking off here. We'd like to start mobilizing in May. That drill campaign is very exciting to be able to test some of these targets, to be able to test this historic resource that we know is there along the surface crown pillar. We get to split between definition drilling versus some step out drilling. So we have a lot of milestones coming up, and like we're at the same time, we're developing, exploring, and aiming to be producing all in the same year. So 2026, I can confidently say for myself and my team, there's not a lot of sleep going on, but this is a very exciting period for us as we march quickly towards these massive milestones that we've set out for ourselves.
Well, you're dialed into the Mining Newswire once again, and this is why we speak to companies like ESGold, is because this is the time for you to add this company to your watch list. This is the time for you to do your due diligence on what the company is all about as they push forward with their Montauban project. So, Gordon, taking the soapbox of the CEO of you, as you will, and with the international experience that you've had, your finance background, speaking more directly to potential investors and your existing shareholders as well, what are some of the takeaways that maybe we haven't touched on today, but when they look at ESGold, what do you want them walking away thinking?
I think it's important for new investors looking at ESGold right now is we are pre-exploration, pre-production, two goals that we've set out for ourselves to achieve here in the coming months. This company has been in operation for a long period of time, and our current shareholders that have been around watching this for a long time are very excited about these milestones being crossed. Mm-hmm. But for the new investor watching, this is not something of, okay, maybe one day. Is a lot of work, about 15 years. Money has been invested, money has been raised, money has been spent, and they get to come in at the 11th hour as we about to cross these two massive milestones on that first drill campaign and that first doré bar poured right at the beginning of serious recognition in the market for what we're going to accomplish and what we've been working so hard to achieve.
Not only do mining companies search out for their gold in the rough, their diamond in the rough, we as investors are doing the same thing. And what Gordon just pointed out was the company's at this inflection point right now. And so we're so happy and pleased to have this opportunity to bring this company to you. Gordon, absolute pleasure speaking with you. Any closing thoughts or comments before we sign off today?
You know what? Pay attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are more than happy and very proud of what we've accomplished. The last 7-8 months have been tremendously successful for ESGold. We've been able to put about $20 million in the bank account. We've signed an offtake agreement with Ocean Partners with an additional $9 million in credit facility available to us. It's an unbelievable partner moving forward. We are well capitalized to take this into operations, and we are very proud of the work we've done. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to have these conversations, explain ESGold in more detail, and we'd like to welcome you on as shareholders.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do so by visiting the company's website, ESGold. Of course, you can visit us here and give us information requests at IBN Network as well. That's investorbrandnetwork.com. Click on that clients tab, and then just pulling it up one more time, the company does have a very impressive investor deck, business overview that you can request as well from us and the company using their contact page, or just pull up a press release. That contact information's at the bottom. Gordon, thanks so much for your time today.
Stuart, thanks for having me.
All right, for Gordon Robb, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in.
The Mining Newswire podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.